the channel, folks. Rockin' the country. I'm Don. I react to non-pop country. And today's slate of artists you saw. Well, we had Loretta, then we had Chase Rice, then we had George Strait, then Alan Jackson, and now George Jones. What a slate of non-pop country artists. But George Jones's song, Wino the Clown, it's a gift request of GW. George Woodruff. So we've got, and George Jones is George Woodruff's favorite country artist, maybe favorite artist of all. And so I just refer to George Woodruff when I'm doing George Jones reactions. I just refer to George as GW, George Woodruff. So anyhow, GW, thank you for this gift and request. I am wearing the Sopranos hat in your honor, due to your impending sale of the GW Bridge and the Sopranos, the New Jersey-New York connection, the whole thing, right? And I'm in Jersey, so when I went to school with James Gandolfini, I went to Rutgers with James. He wasn't Tony Soprano yet, but I knew him. He was 1 year ahead of me, and so I knew him, not closely, but we interacted here and there. All right, George Jones, Wino the Clown. Yikes.
He's got a funny red nose, old baggy pants. When he staggers down the street, it's a funny little dance. Children gather round when he falls down. Everybody laughs at Wino the Clown. They just don't know the reason why, that when she died, he died inside.
Yeah.
He lost all his will to live, and he had no use for pride. Not even all his children's love could bring him back again.
Yeah, man.
He just crawled into a bottle then. Now he's waiting for the end.
Can understand it.
He's got a funny red nose, old baggy pants. When he staggers down the street, it's a funny little dance. Children gather round when he falls down. Everybody laughs at Wino the Clown.
That kind of heartache is brutal.
They laugh when he comes down the street, stumbling all alone, at the way he smiles and holds his arm, just as if someone's holding on. They all think he's lost his mind, talking to thin air. Oh, but only me and my daddy knows that mama's walking there. He's got a funny red nose, old baggy pants. When he staggers down the street, it's a funny little dance. Children gather round when he falls down. Everybody laughs at Wino the Clown. But I never laugh when my daddy falls down. I'll always love Wino the Clown.
That was a nice touch. I wonder if he was an actual clown, or that's just referring to how people kind of saw him because he had like a, what did he say, like a shiny red nose? But that could have been his actual nose. It didn't necessarily mean one of those bubble noses that they use. He just might have become a drunk after his wife passed away, and you feel bad for someone. And I think we set ourselves up in life, our expectations of sort of being happy, and when we lose somebody, obviously it's painful, and then that can lead to making bad decisions, which is why you don't have people who are emotional making laws, for example, because they would shut down everything. Somebody who's lost a child in a car accident, if you were to ask them, how would you structure traffic laws? It would be just lock everybody down because the pain is just too deep. And that impacts generally our ability to think clearly, which is why you need people around you to help get you through it. But this gentleman's pain, even his own children's love, wasn't enough to keep him sane and sober. And all you can do is feel for someone like that. Everybody's life is theirs to live. And when they go through a deep heartache, if somehow they wind up stair-stepping themselves to trying to kill and dull that pain, I don't judge them for that. You just wish that their life and their decisions were different and that they were able to deal with the pain differently. And they probably are. Most of us are. It's just our expectations, we don't want to be in pain. We are wired for pain avoidance, human beings, more than we are for joy attainment. And I mean, risk analysis shows this in economics and psychology and elsewhere, that we are more wired to avoid pain and loss than we are to attain things. So when we experience that deep pain, which we try to set our lives up. That's one reason why we save money for retirement and all this kind of stuff, that it's like when we get there, we just don't want to have to struggle, because struggle is a form of pain. And we're like, I want to have the best opportunity to have the best life. But then, boom, the person you love, your wife, dies. How do you handle that? I don't know. It's kind of like my approach generally is to just go head on. The only way to get through grief is to grieve, and then you come out on the other side. But that's, my approach to things. But I love my sports and such. And sports is a way of avoiding, in a way, certain parts of life, especially if you're a Rutgers fan. You can't really avoid it. It puts you in more pain. But that's a different aside. George, yeah, this is just GW. This is just another way of depicting loss and what can happen. And you feel bad for the kids, and then one kid is like, I'll never judge him. The kid would have seen how much the dad loved his wife. And when that's gone, I know people who have died within a year of their spouse dying. They just didn't have that will to live any longer because their life was so oriented around and within that person. It's rough. So, Wino the Clown. Ugh. All right, GW, I'm going to rate this song. And of course, the way George sings a song is second to none, which is why he was George Jones and the Possum and all that. But the number that popped into my head was a 9.0. It was just a good song. So it was just a heartfelt song, simple, straightforward. And I really like the ending where the son said, I don't see him that way. I'll always love him. He's my father. And I understand what he's gone through and going through. So there you go. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that song. It was a sad one. And GW, you said it would be, and it is. So anyway. All right, guys, have a great day. I'll see you on another video, and keep rocking the country.